All good. You look beautiful. How are you? Brooke's coming in too.
Cool. I'm good, man. Calm. Calm before the storm. We're gonna start doing things soon, building rockets, and so the people are gathering. And yeah, today starts the action days.
Nice. Nice.
Did you
Hey,
say
Brooke, how are
build
you?
rockets? Hi guys. Good morning.
Hello. Good
Morning.
morning, Brooke. Yes, we build a pink rocket here, where I am at the moment in Corky Town on the top of the mountain. Yeah. The Pink Fest is coming, so we're gonna have a beautiful art installation, which is a rocket with the DJs
Um,
inside. And yeah,
oh,
it's gonna be
okay, sweet.
incredible. Yeah,
I was like, it still doesn't sound like it's connecting, so
yeah, yeah. I like
that's
sharing
awesome.
stories a little bit around.
Yeah, I was like wait.
I like make it weird a bit.
My
How are you feeling?
How
laundry,
are you, Eric?
sorry, I was just
Sorry.
gonna apologize for the noise, so I'll mute myself whenever I'm not talking, but
I
I don't
can't
hear
hear any.
any noise.
Yeah. Amazing. You got Amy coming in too. How's Brooke feeling? How's everything going with you? How's the experience since last week? How much magic is happening? Amy, what's up?
Nice to
Hello,
see you.
Amy.
Hi.
You guys have to know this lady. Brooke, I'm sorry to cut you off for 1 second, but Amy is just another amazing lady that is full of spirit, love, and light. And Amy, you want to just share a little bit about yourself?
Wow. Thank you. Well, I don't want to cut you off. You could finish first and then I can.
no, please, I hadn't started. He just asked a
Oh,
question
okay.
and then you moved on. Please.
What was the question? I'll keep it in mind.
Oh, just an update from
Oh,
last week.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have learned so much about myself over the years. One, I learned just recently how long I allow myself to suffer before I ask for
Mm.
the help I need from the people that I know would be there for me. It's crazy.
Mm.
And so I'm creating healing spaces between Maine and Massachusetts. And let me put it this way. I used to risk my life to feel good. So that living on the edge, I still have that. Oh, I'm going to live on the edge. So what I learned is sometimes, and I've also learned recently, um, so, and this, of course, is all going on inside me. I had this idea that my family waits for me to fail because of who I was when I was young. They've never treated me any different than the junkie I was when I was like, I don't know, 21. And it's like 40 something years later, and I haven't been that person in that many years. And I stepped up for this leadership position. And what I learned in the fighting for myself, because I feel like I'm always fighting for myself, is I love those people enough that I may even make them right. Right? So that was like, whoa. And then I'm like, no, I love me more. I'm going to make this work. So I own a family. I own my family home that my father gave me in 2018 when he passed away. It had a reverse mortgage on it. And when he was alive, my father was my best friend. I care about that house. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that that man stays in the house that he worked so hard for. My siblings came over one time to like put him in a home and they're going to sell him to split his assets before he's even gone. It's not nice. So he had already set it up that he had a life estate and he made sure all of them had houses in one way or another. And he gave his house to me after he died. And so I didn't even know that I had different rights because it was all about me just taking care of him. So when he passed away, I got a hard money loan for 2 years, paid $7,800 a month, interest only, at a 411 credit score, wasn't going anywhere, so no problem. Then I got into a principal interest loan and it was an investment property. So I now, in order to keep my father's house, I got to move out of it. So I moved into a sailboat for a minute, and then from the sailboat, when it comes out of the water, I moved into a camper, and now I'm in Massachusetts, in Maine. So it's getting cold. I'm like, oh my God, I've got to do something, right? I have to figure something out. So I say to a real estate agent, because my credit is just isn't there yet, and I need the pay, I need to be able to make payments. So I said to a real estate agent, is there ever a rent to own option in Maine? And he was like, yeah, no. And so I helped my husband. I'm married and divorced twice from the same man. We went to high school together. We have trauma together. We're both from families of 6. We're both in the same line and all that. It's very crazy. And we're good friends now. He takes good care of my grandkids. And had he not suffered alcoholism, and I supported him because I loved him in his alcoholism, and we were happily drinking, I would be dead because I was a junkie who shared needles and got hepatitis C 20 years later. And because I was supporting him in his alcoholism, the man saved my life. So there's that. So I'm grateful for that. So in my goal to, so what happens is I'm helping him do something because I like to help him because he saved me. I'm outside in my camper of whatever he's doing, working on something. I pick up my phone and it says rent to own in Maine. I'm like, seriously? On Facebook, rent to own in Maine. So I talked to this woman and I go to see her property about a week later. And when I walked into it, I knew I was home. It was the same feeling I got when I was in the Master University room signing up and and I'm like, my father like pushing me on the shoulders. You jump into that plat. Those are your people. They love to give and you would give the world away, which is true. So I then get myself, so now I'm here. I'm in my, I've signed a 5-year contract with a woman who wasn't forthcoming. And what I learned here was how to take a stand for myself. Like $500 of my rent goes towards the down payment. So one time she comes out and she says, do you think you could like buy me a Mac computer and we'll take it off the rent? And my first thought was, yeah, and then I'm going to live with a woman in scarcity and drive myself. No, no, can't do that. No. So what I've learned is just incredible and how the universe will like bring to you what you ask for when you allow it. And yeah, so what's happened is I I'm in my last year of my 5-year contract, and in the second year I go from the reverse mortgage to the principal interest loan at 6.9%. I'm paying it for a year. I'm in good standing, and a company from California calls me and says, yeah, we can lower your interest rate from 6 to 2 or 3% at a time when people are paying 2 or 3%. Just put your payments in the bank. Don't make your payments for a couple months. I'm like, huh, okay. And then what happens is I get a letter from a new servicer and it says, anybody ever calls you and tells you they can lower your interest rate, it's a scam. You're having trouble with your mortgage, we can help you with a hardship or a modification. And I'm like, well, I wasn't really having trouble. And I rent my house in Boston. So I have a 2-family house in Boston with 4 living spaces that my father left me. And there's 4 living spaces because when people didn't get along, my father would build something and separate them, right? So there's places where siblings have lived and even I have lived. So yeah, so um yeah, it's really crazy what's happened. So
So how are you though? How are you doing? How's the things with you? How are you
so how
feeling?
I've dealt with it, what I've
Yeah.
learned is things are going to happen the way they happen, and how we
Mm,
respond to them makes a difference to how they turn out, right?
mm.
So I've just sort of stayed the course. And I don't know if you guys were at Time to Rise, but Tony did this distinction between positive thinking and energy. And I realized, oh my God, because I was in a flow before this whole bank thing happened, right? And I realized, oh my God, I've let them steal my energy. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. And then I fell asleep one night and I woke up in the middle of the night and my mind valley is going to renew. And I'm like, really? Am I going to renew it again a 3rd year in a row and only start them and not finish them? And then underneath it says Jeffrey Allen's duality course on energy. I'm like, oh my God, Yes, I'm going to renew it, and I'm going to get a group of people to do the course with me. And we finished it, and it was unbelievable. And after that, we're now doing Jose Silva's method. So the other night, we did an exercise. You do a video of the problem, right? And then we did the meditation with the beats in our heads and all of that. And then you close it and you go to sleep and you allow your guides to give you the answer. So what happened was I woke up in the morning, I'm like, because I didn't want to bring it to my family, of my Platt family, because I wanted to solve the problem and then everything be okay and do it on my own. And I realized, yeah, I'm supposed to call Kelly. I called Kelly. Now, mind you, I keep telling people watch the movie The Burial, because The Burial, the man goes through something that shows me, oh my God, that's what's happening to me right now. I'm being strung along because I own a home, walking distance to Fenway Park, 9 parking spaces where people can't park, and they're looking to take it from me. It's like a no-brainer. And so, yeah, it's just crazy. So I talked to Kelly in my Platt family. She gives me a person's name, and I call him and I tell him the whole story. And he says, "Okay, you want me to blow your mind now?" Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm into that stuff. We go right ahead. And he says, "I am the nephew of the oldest child in the in of Jeremiah O'Keefe, who The Burial was about." I'm like getting goosebumps. It's like, are you kidding me? So he could relate to, he knew like everything I was talking about. And he's like, I love your mission. I want to help you do it. And so I've been working with him and he's going to help me do it. And I just learned like how long I allowed myself to suffer. And then had I not allowed myself to suffer that long, I never would have met him. So it's unbelievable. Like things are going to happen the way they happen, and how we respond to them makes a difference to how they turn out. And when you no longer react and respond, your mind is clear. It's just, I can't, I just don't even know what to say.
Well, it's nice to have you here. I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being here and sharing.
Yeah, I'm
It's nice
grateful to
it's
be
nice to
here.
hear your updates, and I'm excited to see this consistent integration of your destiny and how you continue to make it happen. Brooke, do you want to share a little bit about like how things are going since last week? I know I cut you off there at the beginning, and I apologize. It'd be nice to hear how things have changed and shifted for you since last week.
Yeah, you're fine. So just to update everyone else, basically last week I was just having well, I assume this is the main thing, was just some family drama where, I was trying to get my family to come visit me. I'm in Portland, they're in Oklahoma. And the home environment isn't great, so I don't really like to go home. And the quick update is that my mom called and she was like, well, have you looked at how much this would cost or this would cost? And, and dad, my stepdad, was just wondering if you've thought about coming here. And I was like, no, I hadn't thought about it, but let me think about it and I'll get back to you. So anyways, I hopped off the phone and then I booked a flight to Oklahoma and then I said, okay, I'm coming to you. So, and now she's upset at me. So
Now
so
she's
yeah,
what?
that's
I missed
and
that
and
last thing that you said. Now she's what?
now she's upset at me
Oh,
because she was like I didn't like the way, because whenever I was like slightly annoyed that it's just always the same like responses from them, and so it's fine. And I was like, okay, it's fine, like um it wasn't unexpected. So I was like, yeah, let me have a look and I'll get back to you, right? And so then I went into problem solving mode. I got off the phone and then she's like, well, and then I told her, I was like, I'll come to you. And she's like, well, that makes me feel kind of bad, like, because that wasn't the original plan. And I was just like, you don't need to feel bad. Like the original plan wasn't meant to happen. And her response was like, and I'm just like, so I'm letting her, I'm letting her have
Right,
time to stay
exactly.
on it.
Yeah, you have to let her go through it because it's not about her right now. You're making the decision to find and do it, and then as a result of her upsetness, right, or uh discombobulation within herself, that's something she'll be able to create more peace when you're there. And it's all good. But the thing is that as a result, you're taking that. Remember what we talked is like that certainty is coming from you now. It's like you're the one that's like making it happen. It's not outside of you, which is beautiful. And even though she may have that experience or that feeling, it gives more certainty to your internal sense, knowing that, hey, I actually, it doesn't matter what situation comes across, I can find the solution. It gives you more certainty.
Yeah, definitely. And that was part of it too, is like, I've been talking to her for at least a month, if not, 2 months about her coming up. And it's been this kind of lingering back and forth. And I was just like, okay, I'm ready to have more certainty. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it and it's fine. And I felt fine about it. Like it really wasn't even a resistance from me. I was just like, okay, it's not happening. So yeah, I'm good. I'm here in Oregon. I'm moving houses again today. So I'm here for a week, then I'm going to Mount Shasta for a week, and then I'm back in Oregon for a week, and then I'm going to Oklahoma, and then Denver, and then LA, and then back to Portland.
I feel like you showed her how much you love her and wanted to see her by taking those actions. And when she realizes that, and it might be a little whirlwind to get her to get there, and just make sure you allow your angels to protect you from the energy that you don't need when you get there. You'll be good.
Thank you. Reminder.
Be your light the whole time.
Beautiful. So true. So beautiful. Yes. Louis, Darius.
I feel like it's so beautiful. Oh, sorry. Just I want to admire the Amy story as well. Like it was so beautiful to listen and to recognize how miracles finds the way, no matter of the controlled environment. They sneaks through, like some changes happens in the matter and just like course corrects. It's just so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, everything is like guiding, and the more that we let it go, it's so much supported. And I love that you're here, Amy. It's nice to see you. Your energy is always nice and shiny. It's so
nice
beautiful.
to see you too.
Darius, how are you? Louis, how are you?
Hey, you guys. Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. During the weekend, there was this Bali Spirit Festival. So I had a chance to go there. I connected with some beautiful souls. I mean, it's just such an amazing community here. Loving, shining, sharing. It's one of a kind, I would say. So yeah, there was a lot of practices, a lot of dancing, a lot of movement. So now still a bit low on energy, but yeah, I'm really grateful for all the experiences that I'm having here.
My friend Layla, she was hosting a workshop there called Presence at the festival. A lot of great people were there. It's cool. I love it. I love how everything is just so interconnected so simply.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And
what was your biggest takeaway from the festival?
Biggest takeaway, I guess that even though that there's these tiny spots where all of us, shining souls from the lighthouse gathering together, and even though that sometimes it might seem that there's not many of us, but actually there's so many of us, and more people. There were people coming, not even from awakened community, but once they feel the energy It's so contagious. It's so contagious, and they are getting into it. So probably the biggest takeaway was that love and oneness is contagious, like the best disease that can be that is there. So so yeah, that I guess was the takeaway.
Yeah, it's so present, right? It's so available to us all. And once we like, it's interesting. I think that for me, like when I was growing up, I remember feeling and thinking, is this just me? Like, are these feelings real? You know, because I didn't know that I didn't know and I didn't know. And then you get into these places where you're like fully able to like express yourself and be yourself, and you're just like, and people look at you like, whoa, your energy is cool, like keep shining. And then it's like, okay, this is okay. Like I'm okay to be like this. I'm okay to express myself with full power. And that I believe is what allows like light will create more light because we don't want to dim any of that. And that's what I love about these experiences wherever we go or wherever we be is we're it's really about lifting each other's spirits to that infinite space.
That's very true.
Oh,
That's
it's
very true. And like my friend Zera, she messaged when she did intro in Telegram group, and it's so true that people heal people and communities heal communities. And it's it's so true, and you can actually feel it, especially like here, Bali or Spirit Festival. It's like you said, you can be whatever weirdo and you think that you're weirdo, but once you come there, you are, all of us were weirdos, you know, and it's cool to be a weirdo. As long as you're loving weirdo
weirdness is
and
celebrated.
caring. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. Caring, 100%.
Yes, I went few times to fire gatherings, like fire dancers, and like it's like a fire convention. And it's interesting when you talk about this kind of collective energy of community, and it's so in the ear that even if you don't flow, you know, if you don't use any props to dance with, you're gonna start doing that, you know, because it's just like the whole environment is moving and dancing all the time around. So it's very contagious, and yeah, it's weirdness is celebrated in those gatherings. It's so beautiful.
I agree. Lewis, brother, you want to share a little bit about how you've been since last week, bro? I know you're on a walk or something, but if you feel like chatting.
Yeah,
No?
always feel like chatting. I don't know if you can hear me. It's super windy out here. Can you guys hear me just fine?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. All right, awesome. Man, I think the biggest little shift is the idea of detaching, man. Really detaching, because sometimes we have these big goals and dreams and ambitions, and we want to, you know, make a bigger impact and help more people. But through all that, living in this world, right? There's the energy exchange, but also the monetary exchange, and so, yeah, man, it's been a beautiful week of just reminding myself and remembering and um, tuning into the vibration of detaching from like this overly, let me put it this way, overly focusing on, like, you know, the money and, you know, success and all that stuff, and just coming back to our heart, you know, just really coming back to like who we are as beings and what we're here to do, and we're here to serve, and really making it about a larger vision mission, which is, what's coming to mind is like to be a bridge, right? It's like we're all looking to get somewhere and evolve or expand, right? And so for us to do that, it's almost like this link, right? Like we're chains where we're you know, just linking up and connecting. And a lot of times we can easily fall into the distortion of, lack or illusion, or like not enoughness. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. But it's really been this coming back to the true reality, and the true reality is that, like, we are loved. Like, we do have time. We do have money. We do have resources. We do have connections. We do have resourcefulness, as Tony teaches, right? Like, that's the core of it, right? It's like we can figure it out. We can get creative, right? And so, man, yesterday was if you would have asked me this question yesterday, I would have been in a different state. But man, just somebody said the idea of, well, I don't know if you guys said it, but what's come to mind is the idea of surrender, right? Just surrendering and letting go. And that brings me back to the main word, which was detach. Because when we're so attached to our goals and and like what we want, we tend to forget like the big fuel, which is the big why, and which ultimately it's beyond us. And hopefully it's beyond this year, this decade, and hopefully it's beyond, this lifetime. So went a little bit deeper there than I meant to, but I appreciate you guys.
That's what this is all about, bro, is the depth, man. And I love you for it, because you always bring that focused intention to life, and also very grounded, bro, So it's really, at the end of the day, you're right, man, it's all about the depth. So I mean, this is what we live for, is the depth. Especially this group, and these meetings in this community, is we're all about the deeper we go, the more that we can shine bright, because it's in our darkness that we really understand our light, and that's why we can shine so brightly. It's like there's this song, if we are living from the head and we're forgetting our darkness, we'll never able to shine brightly, because the brighter we shine, the more we're going to attract darkness as well. And so we have to be able to face that darkness, or that illusion of darkness, where we can actually walk into these rooms and experiences and challenge that straight on. So I think that's the biggest, most important thing, is being able to hold that space of light, so that when the darkness does show up, because it will, you are able to have that intelligence of communication to then effectively bridge, like you said, the responsibility that we're here to cultivate. And that is what the essence of our beings are, right? And we do that as a team. Everybody here is doing, stepping into their responsible roles as their souls in human physical manifestation. And then we integrate our destinies as a collective. And that is, what we're here to do, whether we're in Portugal, or in Portland, or in Bali, or, in Maine, in California, wherever we are in the planet, right? Where it's important that as we know, it's the light that brings us closer, and that's the speed of light. It's like we make things happen, and then telepathy, all this communication that we're receiving from each other in these spaces, it's an interchange, right? So depth is everything for me. For me, 100%. So I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, and I guess just adding to what Louis said about surrendering and letting it go. Even today I went for one practice, which was energy transmission, or in other words, Kundalini awakening. So, and I took my friend Zara, who joined our Lighthouse group.
Yep.
And to me, of course, it was deep, profound experience. I think I saw actually my higher self talking to me. It was profound, and I've reached that state because I was able to surrender to experience and let go of, you know, what's going on around me, or let go of any thoughts that would be coming and interfering into that experience. Whereas I talked to Zara, it was her first time kind of doing that energy work, and she was saying that once she felt some sort of sensations in her body, because your body moves during those sessions, your body moves, the energy is moving your body in various different ways. You're experience, you know, waves of emotions, or whatever it can be, you know, love, anger, lust, orgasm, whatever it is. You might feel these things during those experiences. And she said once she started feeling something, it was very new experience, and she wasn't able to let go fully. And that's why and after the experience, she was like very exhausted and tired. And I talked to her about it, and well, we were talking about exactly the same topic, that she needs to surrender to the experience and let go of her masculine logical thinking, and just immerse in that experience to fully absorb the energy, and let the energy do the work for her. So yeah, sometimes we do just have to surrender to the universe, and let go of all the worries and everything, and understand that we are the collective one, and we are, you know, reflecting each other. And uh, during even these conversations, we are reflecting to each other, and we are helping each other. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
Beautiful. It's all the great mirror, right?
Right.
I think that's the exciting part, when we do actually fully surrender to the way we create it as we walk it.
Surrender to unknown, because all of the experiences that we had experienced, we know, but sometimes you do have to surrender to unknown, just like Joe Dispenza says.
The Tao Te Ching calls the way, the path. When you can find that balance within yourself, you actually know even the unknown, because you're paying attention to all of the energy that's around you. So even though the unknown in your mind is unknown, your spirit can actually sense all of the energy around you because it's listening. And so this becomes the way, this becomes the path, and the path becomes evident as you walk it. It's not like you know it, but you know it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's becomes part of you. And so as a result, this is one of the most important things that I've discovered, is like over the last 6 years, is consistently trusting in the energy that's guided me around the planet, instead of having a plan, making sure that I'm totally in service to that great spirit.
The energy of unknown becomes the energy of creation, I would say.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
I really love that and appreciate that, because I mean, I've mentioned it a bit before, right? I'm basically planning week to week right now, right? Like I don't really know where I'm going to be or where I'm going, and I'm trying to listen and become more and more familiar with that, right? And then I mentioned before about not becoming victims, not the word I want to use, but like because there's other forces at play as well, right? Like all around, everything has an intent and a motive, right? And so it's like making sure you don't get swept up into some pendulum that's not something that you want to get swept up into, right? And and instead like really tuning into that. I feel like it's getting better for sure, like a million percent. But I'm curious if there's anything in particular on your path that like helped you personally to tune into the energy before it just became completely obvious.
Yeah, this is a great question. Actually, so making sure that that time and presence within yourself is very clear, meaning that the compass is you, not something outside of you. Because the more that you listen to your own nature, the more that you'll start to recognize the resonance around you. Meaning, having that compass of knowing that familiarity in terms of what feels correct and in integrity at the highest level of influence, meaning the highest, most outstanding fucking standard, and not allowing anything outside of you to limit that standard. Meaning, people are going to project. People are constantly projecting at me all over the world. It doesn't matter. I know what I'm here to do, and I'm moving forward with that level of influence because I'm in guidance, and the vessel that is my body, is in complete control through the experience, meaning that although the body is not like my head is not controlling my body, my spirit is moving it through the physiology, through my state, through my behavior, through my focus, my language. So I needed to finesse the feeling of what felt right versus what felt wrong for me. It doesn't mean that that's right or wrong for anybody around me. It means that it's in congruence to my nature. So if I can resonate and create a compass based off of my compassionate like leader within me, what I would do is, for example, how many things that I have like healed in my past through spending time alone in the jungle, really working on my own traumas. Okay, how did I heal that? What did I do? What did I pay attention to? What was my compass? And I would anchor that into my heart space. And what would that feel like? So that feeling was more, there was humility there was compassion, there was kindness, there was grace. There wasn't this need or force, right? So it felt more powerful because my nervous system felt relaxed, my body felt relaxed, and I could really take in that experience. So once I anchored that in my body, and there's a situation outside of me that was trying, like you said, to be a pendulum of taking me out of that alignment, I would ask myself, okay, does this feel right? Is this in the highest nature of what I'm here to really cultivate and create? And is this something that is intelligent? Because also there's a level of intelligence. Because you're passing through your body and you want to be loving, it doesn't mean that you're kind, kindness for weakness type of thing. It still means that you move with intelligence, that you move with succinct behavior, that you are willing to stand your ground and stand tall. It doesn't mean that you're an asshole. It just means that you have that compassion for yourself, because everybody is doing the best they can with the knowledge that they have. So for me, it was that behavior, that feeling, that anchor, that compass within me that gave me that certainty that says, okay, this doesn't resonate. I'm going to ask a better question. I'm going to get curious about why this doesn't resonate so I can go deeper down that rabbit hole to see if it's truly in alignment with what my true nature is. Does that help and make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So, your process of anchoring in the feeling though was just, I guess, is really the question. It's like you anchored in the feeling just by tuning inwards and asking yourself the questions and becoming familiar with like your own energy within yourself and your body.
Right, because the question will create presence. Like the quality of our question will determine the quality of our life, the quality of our environment, the quality of our circumstances. And so when you find home within yourself, that space of resonance in terms of the vibration, right? Our body is made up of like 80% water, right? So if you're listening to your body is actually always communicating to you, right? So your body will tell you more than your mind can ever dissipate. Your mind is amplifying your body's intelligence. So the body and because of the heart space, the anchor and the way that the heart's intelligence beats through your heart, it moves through all the water within your body. And so when things don't feel good, you could feel it in your body because of the 80% we're basically water. But that resonance, so when you pay attention to vibrations, right? When it's either music or communication, this is why language, focus, and physiology creates your beautiful state or your suffering state. This will change the nature of your physiology and you'll feel it. But most people don't actually feel their bodies. They don't pay attention to their body. And so getting curious about what you're feeling and the presence of that is what gave me the distinction and the decision to move forward in any experience, because your physiology is first in everything. And I mean, this comes from, as you know, the triad.
For sure. Yeah, no, it makes total sense. And it's the process and the grace, and then the becoming aware of the wounds. And I mean, for myself, it's like it's like expanding your nervous system as well, right? And your comfort zone. And so that way you're, I think, open to receiving more feedback, and as well, I think is really important.
Well, because you
It's
know
like
that you don't know.
slowly building trust. It's
Yeah.
like slowly building trust with the oneself, with the oneself, with the choices. Is it a fuck yes or fuck no? You know, if it's a
Yeah.
fuck yes, then like step into that reality which is unknown for the mind, and then, you know, like trust that is happening for you. Like for me, it helps like to for my mind to calm down. It helps to think that, okay, universe always took care of me, of my circumstances, always. And when I look back in the past, I'm always held by the universe one or another way. So like trust in the universe and trust in the body, like in the body language and in the feelings and emotions, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, this is like a weird, like super simple example though, right? Of me putting myself in situations that are slightly uncomfortable, right? So like I'm doing this pet sitting thing, and I'm not a big dog person, right? If they have too much energy, sweet, cuddly small dogs, I'm fine with. But anyways, I came to this house to sit this dog, and it's a puppy, and it's a big puppy. And like when I walk in, you know, he's going crazy, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Right? Like, and then so my nervous system shifted because I have this thing with dogs, right? And then there was a couple other things off in the house, and I was like, oh, and you know, coming into a new space, it's like you got to figure everything out for the first time, right? And so I was like, there's no trash can here. Where are the like cooking utensils? I don't see them. And I was just like, okay, what's going on? So anyways, I went to take the dog on a hike. We went out in nature, you know, relax, come back. And I came back into the house, and literally the trash can was on top of the countertop. Like, and so were the cooking utensils, like in the center of the thing. And it was just like, I just laughed because I knew immediately. I was like, this is such a like perfect example. It's like the state that you're in, you can't solve a problem at the state it was created, right? Like, and so it's like, and you're so frazzled and you miss things that are like in plain sight. So just like, and so yeah, anyways, this experience with this dog as well, right? Like, it's like, I don't want to miss out on a future opportunity because maybe I'm letting something as simple as a dog hold me back from it. Right. So then it's all these little ways, or because it's cold, it's been like super wet and cold and rainy, and I've, you know, had to go walk the dog on hour and a half hikes, you know, twice a day. But it's like, I also don't want to miss out on opportunity because I think it's too cold or it's too wet as well, right? So it's just like building that resilience as well, so that it's like, I know I can handle, or that I'll be open to anything that comes my way from the universe. Is like, whereas maybe before I would have said, oh, that's too cold, you know? I think I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but yeah, it's just like, I'm actively trying to put myself in these slightly, you know, more uncomfortable situations so that I then am truly open to receiving whatever guidance comes to me.
I would just like to acknowledge the fact that whenever we let a dog really guide us, there's such pure energy in a dog or in animals that you're not closing yourself to anything around animals. In fact, you're doing the quite opposite. The animal is such pure intelligence, such pure energy that they base their whole life on feeling. They allow their feeling to really guide them, and so they're actually, from my perspective, some of like horses, dogs, cats are like the greatest teachers, and they feel a lot more than they think. So, and dog spelled backwards is God, so that's kind of cool.
That's yeah, I was thinking about this a lot as I was like with the dog and following him, and then I'm like, okay, where does the dog's ego come into play versus like the dog's knowing, right? Because he's like eating all this grass and will like sit in the ground forever, and then I'm like, okay, when do my human self come in and say, okay, it's time to go, versus allowing him to be, right? So I was thinking about that a lot.
Louis, do you want to share what you just shared with language
Yes,
context?
yeah. Yeah, and I gotta hop here in a bit, but essentially, even that last example there, what happens is sometimes we're so in our head, we're so in our head, which we all do it. Um, like you said, like, should I let him be? Should I let him do this, right? Sometimes we just have to take a step back and ask ourselves, like, okay, what do I really want, like right now? And in that moment, it's gonna be a silly example, but maybe what you want is like, oh, I just want to hang out for 5 minutes. Okay, let the dog be. But if you're like, oh, I gotta, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, cool. Like, we can move forward. We can do these other things. So, and so I'm a little out of breath. Was doing some push-ups here, but that's what it means. It's just like, you know, sovereignty, right? At our core in our heart, like we know what we want. We know who we are. But then the mind, right? The mind, like it starts to race, and it's like, well, what about this? What about that? But if we take a step back and like, wait, like, what do I want? Like, really, I want to impact, or I want to serve, or I want to eat breakfast, or whatever the case may be. Okay, move forward because you know who you are and you know what you want. And that's where the state thing came in, where I was like, once you know what you want, because Tony teaches this, then when you know why, the how becomes very apparent. It's like, okay, here's one way I could do it.
Amen. I love it.
Definitely. It's so simple and so powerful when we can tune into that question. And yeah, it comes up a lot, right? It's like, yeah, why do I want to keep going on this trail right now? It's like, do I really have anywhere to be? No.
Yeah.
I've been priming for 2.5 years at 5 a.m. Eastern with a group of people. And this morning, so we've gone from duality to the Jose Silva method. And this morning, for the first time, I heard Tony say, let the presence within you send good energy, basically good energy to all the people that need it. And I hear, whether you like them or not, right? Whether you like them or not, because those are the people that need it. And whatever you don't like them for is usually something you're working on, right? So they're just the gift that comes to show you, oh, I need to work on that. Because I want to have unconditional love, regardless of anybody. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
It's good stuff.
Wisdom. That's wisdom. That's a beautiful thing to add, because we don't, in the past, most people, they don't know that they are attracting the things that they don't like, or they're
Mhm.
attracting the things that they are not aware that don't resonate with them. They're also attracting that, and it's their responsibility, their ability to respond. And so they choose to either blame versus taking responsibility for it. And I think that what you offer here with this insight is genuinely healing that part of ourselves by offering that presence, that sovereignty, as Lewis says, to then say, you know, okay, this is my choice. What am I going to do to now? It's in that moment of decision that we do decide to change our destiny. And how am I going to decide and commit moving forward to influence myself and others in a way more empowered way versus a disempowered way?
Beautiful.
Sorry, guys, I'll have to disconnect because I'm like super tired after all these weekend and today's energy work. So my head is not working at all now. It was
Perhaps it is.
awesome just
Perhaps
to
it is. Yeah, perhaps your head doesn't have to work. Perhaps it's time for you to enjoy the space of being in your body and just going to sleep, my brother.
yeah,
Fuck the head.
yeah.
Fuck the head.
That's
Fuck the head.
those are some signs.
Good.
It
Well, I'm
was
happy.
pleasure seeing you as always.
Likewise, brother. It's
Likewise.
always a
Nice to
pleasure.
meet you.
I'll try to join tomorrow for your dispenser community.
Amazing. Looking forward to seeing you,
Cool
brother.
stuff. Love you guys. Sending love,
Love you, brother.
blessings. Take care of yourselves.
You too.
Sleep well. Another beautiful day of just magic and discussion. I love it. Lewis, big love, man. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care of yourself. It was a pleasure. And then there was 4.
Mm.
So yeah, I think you know, this is the thing, you know, is about just coming together and just updating and feeling and connecting. This is what it's all about. And that's what I love about these Lighthouse meetings. We all just do that in different communities and bring them together. No expectations, just full appreciation of each other's sovereignty.
Oh man. Yeah, it's so beautiful to see, how the communities can just flow. It doesn't matter, like that it's a beautiful example that communities can create separation, I would say. It's like we're all united on the same light. Sure.
That's it. That's what it's about.
Well, I'm got another call to hop on as well, so I'll call it, and I might try to join for Dispensa tomorrow also. I am a that's fine, right? I am a Dispenso.
You can come to whatever,
course.
any call, all of them, every day, whichever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Any.
Cool.
Can you add me to your Telegram chat?
Yeah, here, I'm gonna give you I'll give you the link here right now so you can get
Okay.
thrown in.
Awesome.
There
Brooke,
you
it
go.
was lovely seeing you. If you jump out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice to
awesome.
It was
Thank you,
amazing to
guys.
see you. We love you, and
Good to
we'll
see
see you tomorrow.
guys. Nice to meet you, Amy. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so jump in there, Amy. And then I'll welcome you, and then you can kind of like share a little bit about yourself if you don't mind. And welcome to the Lighthouse.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it as much as everyone
Amy,
else does.
I wanted
Yeah, it's great.
Amy, I wanted to ask you, what do you feel is your mission? You in the end of your story, you said like that you are on that mission. What would be like a recap of what do you see your mission as?
I want to boost morale
What
across
do
the country.
you want to do?
Across
What?
the world,
Boost?
right? I want to boost morale. It's so down. So
Mm,
before COVID,
mm.
so I had said I moved into a 32-foot camper, and I own an electromagnetic mat called a Beamer that I love. So I was ready to go across the United States, and I did Date with Destiny. I had the plan all worked out. I was gonna go into places of, corporate America, hospitals, school districts, and teach people about break rooms. Give people 2 reasons to go to work, make a sound and aromatherapy room, and meet one other Beamer owner. And we set up the Beamers, we put people on them, the employees, it makes your blood run better. And then I would move on to the next spot, meet the next Beamer owner. I would leave somebody with a business to support wherever I've gone. And then I did Date with Destiny. And I don't know if you ever done that, but at the end he does this meditation. And I was like all set. I was like pumped. And of course, COVID hit as well. And so in that meditation, he says, go back to when you were 16. I'm like, 16? Is he kidding? Like I was pregnant and aborted because my mother made me have an abortion and I wanted to have the baby and I was like dead inside. And then he says, now go to 21. And I'm like, what's he think it got better? By 21, I just couldn't deal with myself anymore. I'm shooting heroin. I'm risking my life to feel good, right? And then yeah, just crazy. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm supposed to meet 2 Beamer owners. They're going to leverage my Beamer, and I'm supposed to go into schools and talk to kids and tell them how not to get involved with anybody until they figure out who they are in the world. And I started talking to my grandson, who's 7, and sharing with him, Aiden, happiness isn't anything anyone can give you or take away. Because I thought once I was married and together with my high school sweetheart, and mind you, I'm 15 at the time, that he was going to make me happy. And I really gave him a huge responsibility, didn't I? Really not fair. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be going into schools. Supposed to be talking to kids. And I used to think it was with my friend who I used to get high with, but unfortunately she didn't make it. She ended up dying of COPD and she just never got there. And I realized I asked David, who's my husband, last Easter, I'm like, do you realize like you've given me everything I ever wanted in my whole life? Like, here are my kids, here's everything. I said, like, what do you want? And he said, well, I'd like to travel. And I thought, oh my God, well, maybe we're supposed to do this and tell people together because now we're at a point in our lives where we're friends. We care about each other because of the family that we've created. We're not necessarily madly in love, but we love each other, right? And so when you can teach that to kids and give them the self-love first so that they have the ability to love others. Like I created this sweatshirt. And on it, I don't even know it by heart, but it says, do it for yourself. And it says, love, accept unconditionally, laugh loudly, hug tightly, smile brightly, dance wildly, give without expectation, praise, praise unexpectedly, forgive endlessly, forget willingly, and then be happy so you can do it for others.
Wow, so beautiful. Such a sovereign shirt there. Is like the formula of sovereignty right there.
Yeah, and
And
it's
yeah,
eco-friendly. It's organic cotton. It's like it's something that you don't mind hugging you, and yeah.
mm. So did you ended up going for traveling with your husband?
Not yet, not yet, because I got myself in a situation, and
Right.
I allowed a bank situation to steal my energy, and I've almost got it covered, and it's gonna happen.
Yes,
It's
it is.
gonna happen.
I got chills when you were talking about supporting him on his dream, and traveling is just
Yeah.
so beautiful, and it's such a beautiful acknowledgement that you say, that you realize that, oh, you gave me everything for this life, and
Hmm.
what I wanted, and oh, so
Yeah.
romantic, so romantic, that
Yeah.
share. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and about happiness is like, I have this realization at some point that I don't even want to try to make anyone happy. because it's like taking away responsibility from them to make themselves happy, you know. So it's like I'm doing this service, you know, if I try to make someone happy. Of course, I'm not saying that is not possible, right, with a gift or whatever, but like the internal, it has to. It's like it's an individual responsibility. Happiness is a choice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what I've
So,
learned is giving is the best drug there is. And when you take somebody to volunteer, it's not only about that act, it's about talking about how it felt, especially for
yeah, it's
kids, right?
interesting how
Because, yeah, and I say
interesting
that
how you
especially,
say like you use heroin to feel good, right? That's
yeah,
what you
or
said.
feel nothing.
Like
Yeah.
and risking.
Escape.
No, you said risking your life or your body to feel good, like edging
Mm-hmm.
just to feel good.
Yep. Yeah, it's really unbelievable. I'm very lucky to be
I'm
here.
so happy you made it. I'm so happy. I'm
Me
so
too.
grateful, Amy, you
Thank you.
made it. Like fuck yeah. Like I mean, like it's I cannot relate to that kind of level of, you know, like using those drugs to meet the needs of my own and risking that. But I'm so grateful that, you know, people make it, and I feel there is a reason for that destiny, you know, to go
Mm-hmm.
through those, so you can step into your mission like unconditionally, as you say, and you can give unconditionally. Without those experiences, you know, is that possible to get to that level of unconditionals? Maybe, yes. You know, like I'm not talking about everyone, you know, maybe
Mm-hmm.
about you or me, you know, like it's everyone is so beautiful when we look back and are grateful for whatever kind of experiences, and sending that love to our past selves for
Yes.
making it. So the appreciation, like fuck yeah, I'm grateful for fucking up myself many times. Therefore now I can heal, you know, like I'm talking now literally about myself. My body was fucked up. Now I am healthier than ever I could. Like I never been healthier than I am now in my physical shape. I'm almost more,
Beautiful.
I don't know actually if I was. And you know, I was crashing myself many times, and everything needed to happen for me to heal myself, so to prove my mind that okay, it's possible, you know, like literally doctors were saying that we're gonna have one, two, three, four, at least four surgeries when I'm 30. And I said, fuck you, you know, like it's not, I'm not going that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And setting the right intentions and proving myself that it's possible, it's liberating. And there is a lot of gifts that I can unconditionally give to others now, which is I do massages here for people in Corky Town, like play with their bodies. It's just like I love that. It's just like it's such a beautiful exchange. It's just give me that body, I'm gonna fucking like, I'm a mechanic. Yeah, and I haven't studied, you know, anything rather than myself when it comes to specific that and how the healing was taking place. So we become the experts of something very, very, you know, like niche, and geniuses can thrive.
Mm. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's true.
Like
It's
I was
funny.
watching your conversation with Yi. What's his name? Sam Yi.
Sunny.
The
Yes.
Yeah, it was beautiful to hear your story in depth. You know, like, I heard from you, but it was always nice to hear the personal challenges you went through, and yeah, and how you faced it, and how now you're connecting everything through the new perspectives, new embodiment of who you are today. It's really powerful stuff. Storytelling is it's a powerful tool we all, you know, have under our nose right there.
Right.
Well, this is like really beautiful because um Amy and I, we both went through those addictions, right? So
Mhm.
that experience of escape, right? It really connects you to something super deep. that your spirit just doesn't understand because you're looking for something outside of you, not identifying with what's within you. And once you find that deep knowing, there just isn't anything outside of you that can scare you anymore.
Yeah.
There's no fucking fear. There's no fear. There is nothing in this planet that can actually like face me anymore that I am not willing to step up to. It's like this beautiful saying, a true warrior is not looking for a battle, but is
Mm.
dangerously fucking prepared for war. And this is something that experience has given me, that I have zero fear about any, like I'm not looking to fight with anybody or argue or however, if I'm challenged, and you guys have seen this, both of you have seen this in multiple different circumstances, that I am ready. I am ready. I have zero problem having confrontation with intelligence and kindness, you know, zero problem, because it's a responsibility. It's a choice that I get to step into, and I am curious, and it's because of those experiences of my life that I have zero. It's not about this. It's not about the vessel, by the way. It's the vessel has had to experience it, but it's what's coming through the vessel that matters. And so that is what allows me to step into this identity with such knowing and such devotion, because we go through those experiences to learn from them, so that as a result, the situations that arise give us even more difficulty adjustments.
So, like for me, the question now, kind of like I would like to ask you both: is there such thing as addiction in the end? If the life is happening for us, and I can talk about myself with the question. Like I kind of started smoking weed daily for like I don't know last maybe a year or so, and I trust that it's just, it's not addiction. It's just I'm smoking it because it's like I need to go through something. Something is developing, and of course, for people around, looks like addiction. And it's a lot of funny situations where, for example, I kind of choose to run out of weed because then I don't smoke.
Yeah.
And when I run out of weed, it happens a few times already here in Portugal. I smoked my last joint on the beach in the morning, and then suddenly the stranger walks by and he comes and he points to my joint. Is it good? And then he pulls out a piece of hash, breaks in half, gives me half. And I'm like, universe, what the fuck is going on here? It means I still need to smoke.
So that's a decision. So that's a choice, right? Just so that you're aware, that's your decision.
Of course.
The
But I
and
mean,
so
like when
if the universe shows up,
delivers in.
yeah, but I could say the same thing when I was a crack addict, and I could say, oh, the crack showed up, so I was just like, hey, I can smoke, like universe
Amazing.
wants me to smoke. So I could say the same thing, but what I would suggest is the way that you can decide, and addiction definitely exists, if you can't walk away from it with total peace and certainty, then you are addicted. If you can be like, oh, I'm good, I don't need it, then you're not addicted.
Amy, do you have anything on that? Like, how is it? How do you process that?
So everything's happening inside you. So you're the best one that's going to know the answer to this question. And I love that you're asking it because you do have one around it. And so I was a pot smoker. It was my gateway drug, right? And I wasn't a normal pot smoker because I would smoke pot and work out and go for a run. And my friends would smoke and they'd like get to the couch and start eating. So it's a personal experience. So it depends on what it's doing for you. And that's why they brought it to the medical world, right? Because some people it does what it did for me, like energize, it brought out my creativity and made me move forward. And what I realized is I did the drugs I did because my brain moved so fast. My brain was going so fast and I needed to slow it down, right? So, like Eric said, it's a personal thing.
Yeah. Mm.
So we don't hold that answer, you do.
Thank
But
you.
that you're asking the
I
question
love it.
just
I love
gives
it.
you that gift.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. That is just like to have a healthy mirror, you know, to reflect, and it's just the best, literally. I feel much more calmer, and yeah, I've been not smoking now for a few days, so it feels nice. And as you say, Eric, if there is, it's okay. If there's no, like, I'm also okay, kind of, you know. So it's of course I want it, and to slow down the mind, and it's been a big tool for me to heal my body. Literally, I would smoke a joint, and then I would dance for 5-7 hours on the beach, healing my body.
Mm. What I started to think about is what now that I'm in this flow, because my kids grow it, right? So if I want it, it's around. And what does it, so I'm in this flow. Let's just say I wanted to do that, be my creative self and whatever, and go for it. What did I take away by not just allowing myself to stay in the flow that I'm in? So there's that. So I get it.
Mm,
I get the question that you're asking. So it's just making that decision.
Amen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Sure.
This decision, right? Because it's kind of like when I was studying medicine, when I was really spending the time with the indigenous in the forest and drinking ayahuasca a lot and getting curious about what spirit needs to teach me with the experience of death and really understanding death and life at such a near experience. I needed to understand that, hold on a second, it's not really death. I'm here the whole time. So whether I'm in the body or not doesn't matter. Like, I'm actually always here. So once that became clear for me, I realized the medicine is only a vehicle to get us to the real vehicle, which is our body, which is the vessel. And so this is by the way, it's from all of these things that are outside of us, because ultimately we get to choose. That creativity can unlock whenever you feel. That choice to walk into the body can unlock whenever we feel. That ability to become strong and powerful and warrior and loving and magical and sovereign, all of that, it's inside. And we just get to make the decision. And in that moment of decision, that's when our destiny is determined. Because from that space, you start to walk in with a new physiology, with a new focus, with a new level of language, and that state, that beautiful state you bring to life, bro, that it's not because of the weed, it's because of you. It's because of the magic that you are.
I love that you, Amy, put that, you know, the greatest drug, as you say, it's giving, and like somehow that rings such a rings in my head now on repeat. Like I want to go and give it now massage, you know, and just like whatever, just like it's so cool.
Yeah. So
We
true.
love you, brother.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Feel it. That's why I'm here. You know, somebody's loving me.
Always. Amy, I'm so
love you
happy
too.
to see you. It's so amazing that
You
you're
too.
here. Thank you so much.
You too.
Yeah, so
You're a
beautiful
gift.
that you showed up. It's really honored to meet you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise. It's funny. Do you guys know of the Willful Warrior?
No.
So the universe
Wolf
is
of Warrior?
the universe is very good to me. Somehow I end up in these WhatsApp chats, right? So I'm keep getting this message from the Willful Warrior, and one day I just jump on. I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" And they showed me a video. Leland Holgate created this space, and it's 60 seconds of freedom. And what they do is they jump on the hour, on the half hour, all day long, and they do 60 seconds of breath work. So they do 10 diaphragmatic deep breaths in your nose and out your nose. And then on the 11th breath, they hold it for as tight as you can. And then when you release, to me, it's like when you spin around on the swing, you know, when you spin and spin and spin around and then you let yourself go. That's what it feels like to me. And what's interesting is I have this 7-year-old grandson who is like a willful warrior, right? And when he was 5, he said to me, Grammy, I really want to be good. I'd be putting him to bed. I really want to do what school wants me to do. And I really just don't know how. So after I got off that chat, and mind you, everybody gets on, everybody puts themselves on off camera and off on mute. They do the breaths. And then they come back on, give each other hugs, and see you in an hour, see you in a half hour, see you tomorrow, whatever. So I call my grandson, oh my God, Aiden, I found it. You're not going to believe it. And my grandson's 7. I said, share your screen for a second. I want to show you something. We watched the 5-minute video on YouTube. And he says to me, Grammy, it's like you're priming without the arms. I'm like, oh my God, you're right. It is like the priming without the arms, right?
They're so spot on.
Yeah, we do the exercise and he loves it. So about a couple of weeks ago, he's at the dentist and he's about to have x-rays. And I've been after his mother. Can you just do it with him? Can you just like try it with him? You just never know. We're outside the room. He's about to have x-rays and he looks at the hygienist and he says, do you mind if I take a minute? And he counts his breaths on his fingers and he did it.
Amazing.
And then he had,
Wow.
yeah. And so now he does it at school. He's doing it. It's a coping skill, right? For
It's
little
a
kids.
wisdom.
Yeah.
It's really a
Tool.
wisdom
It's a tool.
to be able to pay attention to that breath, and at
Yeah.
that age to be so congruent to his own breath.
Mhm.
This is the level of intelligence, of sensitivity and feeling that we are preparing this planet for, because we have a responsibility to that future generation that is so attuned to their own self to create a space of grace where they can fulfill their dreams and their most purest intentions, because that is why we are called to such a deeper purpose, because we are preparing a space of grace so that they don't need to be traumatized anymore by the bullshit belief systems that have come from our predecessors. We are cleaning that up.
Yes. We live in a world of instant gratification that is killing people
That's right.
because anything good takes time.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
That's right. That's why we're
And
here.
that's why it's important to remind each other about those simple tools like breath
Yeah.
work, right? It's like, 'cause it's so easy to go into some getaway drugs, you know, like where it's
Right.
there.
It's the first thing we do when we come out. We take a deep breath. And then no
And
one
the
ever
last-
talks about it again.
And the last thing.
Right.
So this is why, like, I observe, like, I remember being in a place where people were just like leaving their offices and they would just go outside and have a smoke. And I remember like being in a car waiting for somebody and observing these people, and they're just like wanting to breathe.
Right.
They're wanting to breathe. They're wanting to connect to their breath. And so it's why they're like, oh.
Right.
Imagine they went downstairs and just did some breath work outside. Like,
Right.
you know, or like did a breath work session. What would that bring to that business or that experience or that certainty of culture, so that people can actually
Hey, I've been doing that, brother.
Right.
I've been holding space for like I had a resort in Sri Lanka, and every day we had a rule. I think it was 2 times a day, maybe it was variation, but like we would invite people from village, whatever, open gates, who wants to come, and then we all together. So we had a rule: it's not allowed to work during those time. And then if you want to join the breath work, you join. You know, you're not allowed to work, so everything stops. And then I built this with the team breathwork temple out of coconuts, and then we would come there all together, and it could be up to 17, 15 people, you know, and then or maybe 2 or 3, doesn't matter. And then every time we ring a bell before, you know, like, so everyone comes, and then we do the breathwork, and people would be like, and that's in the fisherman village, you know, and seeing the magic that the breathwork comes, like they couldn't speak English to me, but they would translate to me from Singhala. And one guy, I remember, he was like 60, 70 years old, and he was, I feel happy without no reason. What's going on?
Oh, that's beautiful. But
Yes, it's beautiful.
when you said I've been doing that, I thought you were going to say, when Eric was saying people are going down and smoking cigarettes and taking the deep breath, I thought you were going to say I've been doing that with the weed, taking the deep breath.
No, I practice breath work
Right. And what you
outside
said
of
was,
that as well. I do every day. Every day I do it.
and
But
also
I think it's a
something
yes
to
and.
notice. Yeah. So funny. Yeah.
I love that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
So many ways. Listen,
Yeah.
this was an amazing call. I hope to
Great.
see you more, Amy. Thank you so
Yes.
much for being here, and
Yeah.
thanks for.
Yeah.
I saw you jumped into the group already, so
Yeah.
big love to you both, and
Yeah.
let's keep flying.
Yes.
One thing, Amy, if once you're on Telegram group, we have a the whole 7-day schedule for this call, and
Oh,
we
yay.
name different communities. And let me know if you don't see in the chat, so we can drop it again, because I don't know if you're able to scroll up and see what's been
Oh, no,
talked
I don't
before
see
in the chat.
anything except what's next.
Okay, so maybe
Unless
we
it's,
share, but it's,
yeah, unless
yeah.
it's in the description. I will go up and look at the description because usually I think Telegram has description too.
Maybe we got to do that, to put in description.
Yeah, I have it in the description more specifically about about with the why of the group instead of
Okay.
the
The
instead
schedule.
of the schedule, but the schedule we can just post it again, bro. Just
Pin.
do a copy and
I can
post.
pin it maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Amy,
Okay.
much love. It's really cool
Yeah,
that you jump. I'm
likewise.
so grateful.
Yeah.
More grandparents on these calls, please. Like, bring them all. We need wisdom. We need life experience. You know, we have on Fridays youth leadership coming in,
Oh,
and I've been
beautiful.
longing for elders to jump in into
Awesome.
into these calls, to hold space for the new generation. So we're bridging,
Yes.
as Louis was saying, we're bridging gaps here. We literally, that's what we do.
Have you read the Celestine Prophecy? The
No.
Celestine Prophecy talks about that generation and how they're going to be of higher vibrational mind. So they'll see things like Dr. Joe, right? When he first started seeing the beings because of who, and then he didn't really know that he was seeing them until somebody else said, yeah, I'm seeing them too. And then I was like, oh, really? I'm not alone.
Yeah, relate. We need to relate to the awareness, to to accept it, right? And that's why we talk here so openly about all directions, so like whatever needs in the call needs to be said, it needs to be said. Just fuck it. Transparency.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both.
Yes,
Big love.
Such a relief. Thank
I'll
you.
see you soon.
Ciao.
See you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Yep,
Bye.
bye.